Now then, so this is a bit of a test because I've got some new equipment. So you might not be able to hear me, might not be able to see me, but I've been faffing around all day, and I've just got to do one and see if it comes out. It seems to be working all right. Just give me some comments if anybody arrives. Let me find the chat. There it is. So okay, so I'm just going to look at the chat now. Sorry, this isn't very engaging, but I can just delete it if nothing occurs. Okay, so I'm gonna see if anything pops up. Basically, I wanted to talk about I reviewed the Crimson deck the other day, and I a few people said it's overpriced. I don't tend to review. Hey, there we go. Hi, Steve. Got 30 minutes full of Trek Kid Through the Snow preschool. Let's do that. Colin, right now, you guys tell me. This is testing new equipment. So can you tell me if anything's laggy? Can you hear me? Okay. Um, am I just joined? Hi, Steve. Great. Hi, John. Hi, Paul. I've got a completely new. I'm in completely new setup. So just give me a comment to let me know you can hear me all right. And if you're watching this in the future, this is going to be dull. Um, but this is, we got to go through this stuff to make it good because I've got some very exciting things lined up. It's I don't know. You seem to be, yeah. Oh, that's good. Boom. Right. So you might be delayed, but that's okay. I think. Yeah. As long as the audio and my mouth isn't delayed and it looks like a 1970s kung fu movie, which actually would be a very good thing. Colin will be telling me off for calling it that. But so I wanted to talk very briefly about, and I'm going to look. I can now look through what I couldn't do before is look through the comments and then go back to them. They were disappearing very quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through these comments in a minute and pick one up. If it works, if it doesn't, there you go. We'll just do it again another time. So. Someone the other day, people were saying about the Crimson deck, and it's overpriced, and people are really disappointed with it, and it's overpriced. And I, like I said, I don't really look at the price of tricks. I look at if they're good, if they're really good. I suppose, talk about whether they're value for money. But value for money is a really odd thing for me because magic, a little bit less now. But when I was not when I was growing up, when I was about 20, you would quite often spend a lot on a magic trick, get it home, and it's just an idea, right? You don't actually get anything. You just get the idea, you get the thing. You might get a paper clip and a bit of string or something like that, but that's what it was always kind of agreed that you were buying the secret. That's what you were buying. Now it feels a bit different, and the Crimson deck was a really interesting thing because I got it out, I looked at it. Yes, it's a normal deck of cards with a few gimmicks in, which you could make up yourself. But to me, you were buying that idea. You were buying a deck all ready to go, and with the stuff on it and the five extra things that. Yes, you could make them up, but I think by the time you bought all those separate things, it wouldn't be that cheap. But anyway, that's a different question. But and for me, yes, I think it was about $35. I did look at that and go, wow, that's a bit expensive for what it is. But then I thought, well, can you buy the same thing for the same price? And that's what denotes value for me. If you can buy the same thing for the same price, and actually you probably can, because you could buy it from some knockoff, but actually the thing from a similar creator, if you see what I mean, then you can say, okay, it's expensive or it's not very good money for what you get. But I think if you're going to get a trick and you're going to perform it and it's going to last you a decent amount of time, I'm happy to spend money on it if it goes into my set, into my repertoire. I've seen people on the other end of the spectrum spend £1,000 on a UFO from Labco who've never performed in their life and just to get it home and show the family, which to me is insane. And you'd say, is that overpriced? But it's no, because you can't get it cheaper anywhere else unless you get a cheap knockoff and it isn't going to be as good. So I'd be interested what you say. Just put the I love it. No complaints. Yeah, I think almost the simplicity of it makes it work better. If I compare it to something like Anarchy, the Ryan Go thing. Oh wait, I was a bit generous for that. Oh, I spent so long with that thing. It's a beautiful effect, but I was hours into it and still couldn't do it. And then I kind of did it once and gave up. I thought there were so many things that could have gone wrong in that. It was just overcomplicated. Yes, if you're right and go and you create it, you're probably doing it flawlessly. But if you're buying it and you're putting the thing together and you're making the thing up and you're getting to a point where there's too much risk. He kept saying in that tutorial that, you've got to be very careful when you do this, you've got to be very careful if you do that. And too many very carefuls with me is a problem. Okay, I don't want to be very careful every 2 seconds in a routine. I want to have a bit of breathing space. And for me, something like the Crimson Deck gives you that. It's very versatile. Laura's routine was very simple. And I haven't talked to Laura about this. It's just a good example of people saying it's overpriced. And I got it out and I did all 3 of those routines that are on that download quite quickly. Now, again, if I already do a load of routines like that, then no, it's probably not going to be worth it. If I do a load of sleight of hand, I'm very comfortable with palming and culling. Maybe you can do a separate thing. But what I said was that it's good value, for people who don't have that skill and don't want to put the time into that to be able to work those sort of miracles. So that was just a little thing. So what am I not happy? What I'm not happy with, what makes it bad value for me is when you buy a trick and it's exactly the same as something you've seen that's been out for ages, it's completely ripped off, and it's not as good quality. So, which is why, weirdly enough, the Sans Mine stuff, I've never felt, even though I don't pay for it clearly, but I've never felt that if I bought that, you sort of get enough to justify it if you really love the effect. But it's again, other than the last one, that sort of blink, the blink vanish. I think that there's something in there that you maybe would have already. You might be a bit disappointed if you bought, but. Let's have a look at the comments. Yeah, better quality in video sound. So what I've done, you have no idea. I have just spent, since half 6 this morning, I've basically got my Sony camera there, which is streaming. I've got a Rode boom mic here. So before it was on my phone, right? Literally just my phone. Look, laptop there with 500 wires plugged into it. It sounds like a hairdryer now because it's using every bit of RAM it's got, and the light's on. So this is better, right? So what I made a mistake. The laptop should be here in front of me on a little thing. I'm going to do that so I can just look down at the comments. But we're getting there. We've got separate audio, separate sound. I've finally got it sorted. The comments are still there. Usually they disappear on my phone and I can't look at them. Hopefully it looks better. The next stage. For Card Magic course members is that we're going to have this set up. We're going to do conferencing. Colin, you hearing me? And whoever else is a member. And I'm going to do tutorials, and we'll have a little button that I can press and it goes onto a separate camera on my hands. Imagine that. We're going to get there. So if you are thinking of joining the card course, I wasn't going to say this. This is all set up for that as well. So I've got Zoom and some video conferences with this camera and this mic and everything. So even more of a reason to join that. Okay, I think that Crimson Deck, deal what it is, books offer value for books, yeah. So I suppose value for money wise, you think of what you get in a book or a DVD. I talked about this before, right? Look. Okay. Hang on, the thing's falling apart. Okay, it's 100 quid. It's pretty much everything that David Williamson does and interviews and everything. I mean, that you get the one thing. And that's your career. I'm not saying you should copy it. You'll never be able to do it. But the tricks themselves, the ideas, that's all you need, So if you're talking about value, and I said before, I remember being at Lewis's stand in Blackpool, Lewis de Matos, it was quite quiet because all he had was these DVDs that everybody going on, they were expensive. And then people were spending hundreds of pounds at a stall, a couple of things up on little tricks that they'll do a couple of times and never use. And each one of them was like 30 quid. So I think you're right. Books, DVDs, that sort of thing, the best value for money. But we love our tricks, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I reckon if whatever you pay for it, if you get it, you use it, it makes you happy, it makes your audience happy, that's a bonus. Only read the first trick of the shift, but the amount of arrogant fluffing the text is laughable. I haven't got one of them. I asked for one, and I didn't get sent one. But they probably don't need. I mean, nobody really needs me to review their stuff, do they? Let's be honest, they do it out of kindness, really. But I am going to try and get some. When we're at Blackpool, I'm going to try and get some creators to send stuff for me. So, if you know any creators, I'm struggling with numbers. I'm struggling to keep up because I'm getting everything from Murphy's Magic. So I get stuff from Vanishing Ink, and I want to thought to sort of even that out a bit. But do keep asking for stuff if you want me to review stuff. The other day I have got a list of the ones that I said on the live on a Monday. Right, I've got this stuff to review. Which one do you want me to review? And I thought there'd be one kind of obvious one. And what happened is everybody said different things. So I was like, I reviewed Alan Morrison's thing instead because that was coming out, wasn't it? So I'll tell you what. Unless there's anything, what happened to tutorial on the back pass? The back pass. Well, you're not my one-handed bottom palm. Did you see that pop up earlier? See if you answer me, John. I did a little test earlier. I was going to do one-handed bottom palm, and it didn't work. Maybe it is that. I'll show that anyway if you want, because you've been nice. Hang on, wait there. This way all goes wrong. This was a little treat, worth waiting for Mind Power Traveller. Just yeah. That's a difficult one. Mind Power Travellers or just a deck now? The Mind Power Traveller thing is really cool, but the main bit is the Mind Power deck. You know, it's so, I love it. And my feeling that Mind Power Travellers works in a lot of situations, but not every situation. Mind Power deck you could do in front of 2,000 people. You know, actually, I presume Darren Brown probably has. I know he did it with Smoke, but you know, get someone on stage, nicely lit stage with a table, spread the cards, they look at it, the cards in your pocket or somewhere else with 8 multiple outs, just brilliant. So to say thanks, worth waiting for my... it's private, yeah, okay, that was a test and it went wrong. But to say thanks, what I was going to do was show my one-handed bottom palm, which is quite difficult, but I quite like it. And now we're live, I'm not going to be able to do it. So that's the 7, and what you do is you misdirect, and hang on, you can't even see it. So the good thing about it is it happens... Oh, it's a double facer, that confused me. Didn't work, received notification, but didn't work. Yeah, that's right. So if I've got the 10 there, and it's kind of a misdirection palm, okay? So you palm it off here. And what I like about this, and I'm not worried about exposure because we're only magicians here. A lot of one-handed palms happen up here, all right? So you need the sort of deck level. So then you're talking and you might put it into palm like this. This is a palm that isn't invisible, but you can hold it down like this here and do it. Whoops, hang on. I thought I was trying to get in the camera there. Do it with gravity. So the deck doesn't need to be balanced on your hand. You see what I mean? So you can even do it upside down, like this. And I came up with this because I remember reading a Travellers, and Dive Allen's Travellers uses this Lowy palm, Lowy palm to palm the card. And there was an argument between Vernon and Amar, I think, and don't quote me on this, that Amar was saying you do it on misdirection. And so you can, which I tend to do actually. If I'm talking, if I turn the cards over in the Travellers, you can do this the palm, you know, very just under misdirection and not looking because the hand's down here. So I thought that with a bottom palm it could be the same thing. So it's not an invisible palm, but when you look forward and you're talking, you've got the deck down here just completely out of play, and you can take the bottom card there and push it into palm. Now I'll show you this very quickly. Let's have a look. So this is what's happening, and I got this idea, and this probably has been published separately, so don't get in trouble, but I got this idea for my first DVD because I just wanted to put something in it that was mine, because it was all other people's stuff, which was credited, is from the clip shift, actually. So the clip shift brings the card to here, and oops, let's get it into, and you colour change it there to there, and you're using this part of your finger. And I thought, and what I'm doing is I'm holding the deck like this. So I've got 3 fingers. If I'm looking down, the second, third and little finger on the right hand side looking down. Sorry if you're left hand, I think Colin you're left hand, don't you? And the thumb on the right hand side, and I'm kind of gripping it like that. And this is only an impromptu thing, so it's not a detailed bit of teaching. And if I squeeze the deck, look what happens. You get this kind of squeeze down of the cards, bowing of the bottom cards. You just got to play with that. I kind of squeeze the deck at the bottom like this, and then with the finger, just there, I feel for that card. It's almost like a double lift get ready, but one card and I push it back. And what's happening is this, into that position. There's a really big detail on one of my DVDs, but I'll stick it on the card course as well. When it's in that position, I'm going to get this part of my finger and press it against the deck. And I'm going to push it that way and get this finger out the way. And look what happens. It goes like this. And it's going basically like that. If I do it the other way, you'll be able to see it better. Yeah. Down like this. I'm pressing this against the face of the card. And this finger's out the way. And that's in palm position now. And all I do is squeeze everything together, take my hand away, and it's in palm. So the whole thing goes like this. Oops, hang on. Can't do it in this. There. So again, it's easier down here because you've got a little bit of gravity there, but you don't need gravity for it. That's the point. You can do it as you're gesturing, and then you put the card down. I find it very nerve-wracking doing a one-handed palm from here because I've got to kind of, it's nice, but I feel like I've got to kind of balance it sometimes if I'm walking around. I've got to kind of get it into this position. But yeah, so that's my one. Watch that back and you'll be able to do that one more time from here. I'm pushing the card down, putting it in position there, and then squeeze everything once in position, and then you're in, and then you just come forward like that. You can do multiple cards if you can count quickly. There's 4 there, I think, but that's a different thing. Don't do that. You've got a life. Keep it. So there you go. Right, Steve, can you make a private group so we can discuss these things and moves in more detail? Great that you're willing to share these ideas. Yeah, I wasn't worried about doing that one. I won't put loads of exposure on here, but really, a lot of people are going to be watching me blabble on for, I don't know, half an hour about whether magic tricks are good value or not. Most of them would have lost the will to live within the first 3 minutes, so I think we're all right. Finally catch you live. Yay! Great. So John, answer your question. Okay, so these sort of things are going to be happening on the card course, which is $9.99 a month. Okay, I'm going to start doing private tuition live on there. So I do the videos. I've just put a couple of videos. I just put the Stuart Gordon turnover on there. And actually, I'll just put a video on of me, how I bring in level 1, which is very simple. But Christian gave me permission to teach that. So I've taught that on the card course. So I don't want to do loads and loads of tuition on here. And I do want to sort of focus on the card course as well and give people value on there. So if you want more private tuition, I don't know how it's going to work yet, but I'm going to start doing stuff on the card course, and obviously on that, maybe there's a possibility of something else, I don't know. But it's all experimentation at the moment and growth. You can't believe how happy I am this has worked. I've been banging my head against the wall all day. The audio wasn't working, it was out of sync, everything. So if this looks okay, we're on a winner. We'll be doing loads more live streaming, and next is to do camera angles and some live reviews, I think. So bear with me. Do give me constructive criticism. Do email me, steve@stevefaulkner.com. Somebody said once that the intro thing was too loud, etc. So I really appreciate that stuff, and I want to make it as good an experience for you as possible. So let me just have one last look. Yeah, thanks a lot. Oh, it's so nice to be able to see all the comments. They haven't all disappeared. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks very much, everyone. Do take a look at the card course. Do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I think most of you have because you got this. And if you want to share it, that'd be nice, but no expectations there. And anything you want from me, anything you want me to talk about, I'm going to be doing more live stuff. I had a meeting with the guy who coaches me the other day, and I said, look, I just want to concentrate on this stuff because it's the stuff that feeds me, kind of feeds my soul, the reviews, but the card course as well. And I'm really excited we're kind of up and running and we're going on to the next stage. So thanks very much, everybody. Have a great one. It's really, really lovely that we've got you all together. It's been great. Sound was a little soft for me, but generally okay. Right, good. Yeah, the sound's good. But I think I'm going to get some lav mics and put it straight into the camera, but that's another 700 quid I ain't got at the moment. So take care. Thanks a lot. Have a great one. Cheers. I'm still here.